Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. For those who don't know me, I'm Chief Dave Harkins of Gloucester Township Police Department, and it's a great event. Great day for us. Happy that John, a little bittersweet for those of us that work with John. But before we begin, I just want to make some introductions and welcome John's family here. Other than John's blue family that's here, his family is here. And I first want to recognize, first and foremost, his wife, Regina, who's here. His mom, who's sitting right here, Lorraine. We also have his daughter, Nina Chappelli, his son-in-law, who's a Gloucester County Sheriff's Officer, Michael Chappelli, and, of course, John's grandson, Vincent Chappelli, who's here. Also joining us is John's son, Frank Viola, and his daughter-in-law, Michelle Viola, who are here. Also, John's daughter, Natalie Viola, is here. His sister, Barbara Oldrati, his brother-in-law, who's Philadelphia Police Department SWAT officer, Andrew Oldrati's here. His nephew, who's also Mantua Township Police Officer and former Gloucester Township Police Special Officer, Salvatore Oldrati. And getting all the Oldratis in here. His nephew, Luciano Oldrati, also. So the Oldratis are here. Welcome. Also want to welcome his sister-in-law, Francesca Lanza, who is here. You got it in there. And also, John's cousin, New Jersey State Police Lieutenant Bill Serino, is also here. I know there's many others, but we want to get started. So I ask at this time, Monsignor Mike Mannion, who is our police chaplain, we're so glad to have. If you could lead us with a prayer, Father Mike.
Could have made money on today because I went around the parking lot 3 times to get a space, and then I just parked right on second base. I hope that's okay. Honored to know John and his family in some very happy occasions and sometimes not so happy occasions. Let us pray. Lord our God, we give you thanks for John's life, his career, not just his job but in ministry, because so many times he has fed other people. Not just physically because he's Italian and it's part of his DNA, but also spiritually through compassion and conviction, through caring and going that extra mile to make a difference in the lives of others. And that's why this place is crowded today. Because the 4-foot-long fork that he had reached out to feed everybody else at the table, in the department, every day in one way or another. And when his struggles came through loss in his family, then too, crowds like this, even more came to say, John, we love you, we love your family. So Lord, we ask you to bless him. Let not his wisdom and his years of experience go to waste. May all who are here take advantage of what he has to offer in the future. Perhaps in some ways even more so than in the past, because of what he learned, and what he wishes to pass on, and can still feed people with that wisdom, that understanding, those experiences. And so, Lord, we ask this day especially as we gather for John's retirement in one sense, but a step forward in another direction, another. We ask, Lord, that you act justly, love gently, and may John always walk humbly with you as God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. Thanks, Father Mike. Just a couple introductions also of some people that are here. Of course, I want to introduce our mayor, David Mayer, who's here. We'll have a few words in a moment. Also joining me, Deputy Chief Anthony Minazzi, Deputy Chief Brian McKendry is here, and the ones that organized, Captain Jason Giddens and Lieutenant Melissa Capana, who are organize this today. I also want to acknowledge a couple other people that are here. Tom Cargis, our business administrator. You don't have to fight with John anymore on the negotiating anymore, so that's good. I want to recognize Chief Rob Kemp from the Cherry Hill Police Department is here, Captain Jay Salvatore is here, and Lieutenant Mike Ostermuller. These guys are SWAT guys that go way back with John and I, and again, we're honored by your presence here. Also want to recognize Chief Inspector Bill Plitt, retired from the U.S. Marshals Service, who is, we're honored to have you. I know Dennis O'Brien, one of the supervisors of the Marshal Service, is here, so thank you for joining us here today. So with that, I want to turn over, Mayor, if you would.
Well, great. Thank you, Chief. Monsignor, we're going to get you a parking spot, so don't you worry about that in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, today is a very special day for Gloucester Township. But I know it's an even more special day for John, you, and your family. And I want to first congratulate you on a very distinguished 25-year career. And I know the Chief is going to go through all of the things that you have accomplished throughout your career, but I want to say thank you for that. And you should be very, very proud. I know we are very proud of you. I know your family is very proud of you. And so thank you for that. But I also want to say thank you for the difference that you have made and the difference that you're going to make in the future. And I specifically focus in on your training officer responsibilities. Because as we all know, training is pivotal to law enforcement. And it's vital to keep our officers safe, to keep the public safe, to deal with things that come around in our society. And thank you for taking on that role, because it is just so vitally important. And I want you to know that you have made a difference in the lives of the officers that are in this room and the officers that you have trained over the years. And if you want to really think about it, what you have trained them, they are going to train others. And so you will have a lasting legacy here in this Gloucester Township Police Department for really decades to come. And I want to thank you for that, because again, that has truly made a difference. So thank you for choosing the career of being a law enforcement officer. And thank you for choosing a career here in Gloucester Township. I'm so very proud of this department for what you all do day in and day out. But I know you've played a huge role in that. And I thank you for that. So I also want to thank your wife and your children, your family, for sharing John with us for those 25 years. It is not easy, I'm sure, and I thank you for that. Good news is now you're stuck with them. So we wish you we wish you the best, and I hope that you take advantage of this time with your family. So very well deserved. So on behalf of the residents of Gloucester Township, our town council, and certainly myself, I not only congratulate you, but I thank you for all that you've done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to acknowledge Captain April Harrington from the Voorhees Police Department's here, and Detective Lance Klein, who we walked him out on Friday from the Voorhees Police Department. So congratulations, Lance, you just retired. Before I begin what I have to say about John, I also want to acknowledge Special Chief Ed Smith, former Chief of Police, Gloucester Township Police. I know you're here, right, Chief? And to all the retired officers that are here, past, present, Gloucester Township officers that are here, officers from all over, U.S. Marshals, task force guys are here, narcotics guys that you work with, goes on and on. So, but it's a great testament. So, where do I begin about John, right? This is a bittersweet day for me as a chief. And I just said to the Deputy Chief Benazzi today, I'm like, geez, we're the dinosaurs now. Where are you guys? I mean, everybody that we're coming up with is retiring and on our way out. But you know, what the mayor said about carrying on that legacy here is it just goes to show me there's so many young officers that are here that never had the opportunity to work with John in a patrol, on the street, on a platoon. I did have that opportunity. I know many of us that are retired, whatnot, did have that opportunity and know what kind of cop he was. To sum it up, John was one of, is one of the most respected and trusted police officers here in the Gloucester Township Police Department. He certainly was that for me. And, you know, I could go on to tell you some crazy stories when we were on the street that we had a ball. We had a great time. And there was times John and I used to say we couldn't believe we're getting paid to do this job. And I know many of you probably felt the same way. That's how much we enjoyed each other and looked out for each other. And it was the bond that we had. You know, you build a bond when you work with officers, you know, with each other like nothing else. When you're going to those types of calls that, you know, we're the only ones there for each other. And you learn to really look out for each other just as all these officers in the room do each and every day. So my greatest admiration. I was very lucky to experience with John. John, when he first got hired, was assigned to the 4th Platoon. I was a member of the 4th Platoon. And so we got to cut our teeth very early doing police work and whatnot. So John for sure was a mentor and I would say a mediator for many here at Gloucester Township Police. And it's hard to put that into description of what John's role here was. He actually, you know, if you had to get a message to somebody to knock off something or do something, or hey, maybe he needs to get retrained or look at something, John was the go-to guy for many of us. I think I can speak for Chief Smith, who used him in that capacity in many occasions for all of us through training and administration and whatnot. So he's helped many, many officers through their career through training, but it also that mentorship, that guidance that he gave. You know, I could tell SWAT stories, right? John and I were members of the special response team together, and I was the team commander in 2006, and John was one of the team leaders, as was Lieutenant Chris Crabtree, who's here. You know, we trusted each other implicitly, and I think it's obvious when you see the Cherry Hill chief here and those SWAT officers that we work hand in hand with, there's an implicit bond built up with them for those types of situations. And, you know, there were many occasions, one in particular where someone was shooting up a neighborhood on a Sunday in the wintertime during an Eagles playoff game where we responded out to, and it was the real deal. Houses were shot up, people were barricaded. This guy was out of hand. And it was those situations, that's one of them, where John and I were some of the first to arrive and deployed very quickly, and we trusted each other. He gave me feedback, how we handled the situation, and the trust that we built just on the day-to-day from training and being with each other, I could go on and on about, and I'm forever grateful because I know he saved my butt a bunch of times, and hopefully I looked out for him enough times, just grabbing you sometimes and keeping you straight. And I can honestly say I don't know that I'd be here had it not been for John, you know, being in a stack and working together. So I'm forever grateful for that, and I'm going to miss him from that aspect. John was an unofficial resiliency officer and peer support officer before these programs even existed. He was the guy who he would run into or down at the range that he would talk to somebody who had a problem. While he was often detailed to other agencies and task forces, and I'll get to that in a minute, John always knew where his home was. And he always looked out for all of us here at Gloucester Township, and boy, did he always be an ambassador for the Gloucester Township Police Department. He understand how to be diplomatic in order to make this police department look good no matter where he was assigned and under often difficult circumstances. And for me and for many others, like I said, he was a trustworthy officer. He's one of the most trustworthy officers that I've ever worked with. There was no information that wasn't safe with John if you had to vent and get something off your chest, and him tell you straight how you should be correcting yourself or fixing yourself. And I'm sure there's many officers here that have the same input, same feelings about it. John was often assigned to teach our new officers tactics, and I was always sure to have him detailed with me to assist me when I was teaching at the police academy to new police recruits doing patrol tactics or active shooter response. I'm going to go through John's career here, and it's a long. It doesn't give it justice, but I'll go through it. Detective Ricci began his career at the Gloucester Township Police Department as a police officer on January 27, 1997. He graduated from the Camden County Police Academy on May 16, 1997 in recruit class number 26. On July 13th, he became a member of the Special Response Team until June 1st, 2016. On April 26, 2002, he became a firearms, use of force, and tactics instructor. His duties on the Special Response Team included being a SRT operator, and he was assigned as a team leader from February 1st, 2006 until he retired from the team on June 1st, 2016. Detective Ricci was temporarily assigned to the narcotics unit on October 20th, 2003, and was appointed as a detective in the unit on April 1st, 2004 permanently. During this time, Detective Ricci was assigned to many federal, state, and county narcotics task forces, and he played an integral role in many, many high-priority drug trafficking investigations. He became a firearms armorer and assisted for all of our weapon maintenance, repair, and purchasing recommendations. On September 20th, 2010, he was assigned to the United States Marshals Service, New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force as a temporary federal officer. He served on this task force until November 13th, 2017. While assigned to the U.S. Marshals Task Force, John became an integral member of the task force. Again, John was involved in many, many safe apprehensions of some of the most dangerous criminals in the tri-state area and beyond. And they always made sure that task force members got through it safely. While assigned to the U.S. Marshals, John, being a training officer here, he was also selected to be part of the elite training cadre of the U.S. Marshals for the entire New Jersey district. I would regularly receive compliments from U.S. Marshal Chief Inspector Bill Plitt, who's here with us today, and other supervisors of the Marshals Task Force. Detective Ricci was then assigned to the Professional Standards Bureau here, which is our training unit, where he was a full-time training officer for our department. And I can't say it any better what the mayor said. The impact that John has made and John has had will carry on through this department for generations. John is a highly decorated officer of the Gloucester Township Police Department, and his commendations include 2 bravery commendations, 10 distinguished unit citations, commendatory service citations, and 4 outstanding police work letters. Detective Ricci has also received many commendatory letters, including 4 from the Gloucester Township Mayor's Office and 18 letters of recognition from other law enforcement agencies. In addition, Detective Ricci has received many citations for his service with the U.S. Marshals Service. These include the U.S. Marshals Service Investigator Excellence Award, several United States Marshals Service letters of recognition, an award from the Pennsylvania State Police Blooming Grove Service Award for his participation in the manhunt and capture of cop killer Eric Freen. John was a founding member of FOP Lodge 206, and John was on the labor negotiating committee for the FOP, and he negotiated most of the labor contracts for the patrol officers here over the last 20 years. I'm very confident in saying that John is one of the most respected law enforcement officers in all of the South Jersey area. I am very proud to have served with him, and I'm going to miss him very much, for sure. I know he's not far, but I'm still going to miss him. I'm even prouder to call him one of my closest friends. And John and I went out to lunch the other day, and normally you do an exit interview. Well, there isn't much of an exit interview to be done here. And we both ended it saying that we're more like, this is family to us, right? It's family to us, and that's how I felt. So for me, in that way, it's a sad day. But it's a very happy day for me. I know what John's gone through. I know the doors he's gone through. I know the assignments that he's on. And I'm very pleased that he's earned this retirement to be with each of you, concentrate on each of you. I know the dangers that he's gone through, and I know how many officers he's kept safe. He's got a 100% record on that. And I am proud that he has made it to this point so he can enjoy the rest of his time because he has earned it. He walks out of here with all the respect in the world of all of these officers here, this blue family, and he is going to be missed. So I know that I've had the opportunity to work with one of the best, and I'm very happy that he has the opportunity to have a long and happy and well-deserved retirement. So with that, I want to congratulate you, John.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks for all the nice words. So I want to start by thanking all the non-law enforcement personnel that work in the building. The chief and the mayor and council, thank you for all your support through the years, for getting us the funding that we need so we can keep our officers safe, to get the proper equipment. That means a lot. We see that through the country now, where the mayor and the chief don't get along, and we see what problems we have. So I appreciate that, getting us all the stuff that we need. All the other civilians that work in the building that I call my friends, everything that you do, everything that we see in the hallways, the highs, and how's everything going today, it's very much appreciative. I know you don't get thank yous all the time, but while I'm here now, I want to thank everybody, people at Public Works, Court Clerk's Office, HR, Records Department, right, Community Relations. We say the secretary's on this side and on that side, everybody on this side, the mayor's office. Thank you for what you do. You made our career a lot easier, and my career a lot easier, keeping things straight. One person I will call out by name, she's not going to like it, but I want to thank Dawn. Dawn was a close friend of mine through the years. She got hired the same time I got hired. Dawn, I'm a little disappointed that you worked for 3 different chiefs and you never put me in for a life-saving award, and there's 3 different times I had to save your life. But I'll let that go, it's no problem, but I appreciate your friendship, Dawn, and everything that you've done for me. I really do, thank you. So for all my brothers and sisters in blue, whether it's you're working now, or you're retired, or you're from a federal agency, a state agency, a city agency, another agency, thank you for what you do on a daily basis. It's hard to put in words what you do to the public, because the public doesn't see everything that you deal with in and out, right? It's the night shift, the day shift, it's snowing out, it's raining out. The last 2 years you had to deal with the pandemic, right? And you're out there getting it done every day. Sometimes during them times, a little bit of the public doesn't like us, but you consider to go out there and do your job, and you do it very well. I appreciate everything you've done, because all of you who I've worked with had a part of keeping me safe through the years. And that's the main thing with everybody. We got to keep each other safe, especially in today's climate. You all helped me keep my promise to my family. When I leave in the morning and I tell my wife, I'll see you when I get home. A normal job, no problem, I'll see you when I get back. But our job, we all know that may not happen, especially in today's times. So I appreciate every one of you and what you do on a daily basis, going out and getting it done. For all the supervisors that I worked with, again, state, local, and with our department, thank you for what you do. Thank you for treating me with the utmost respect since I've been here. I've always felt like I was a supervisor when you were talking to me. You got a hard job, right? You're not just in charge of, like I'm in charge of myself when we go out there. You're in charge of a whole platoon. You got chiefs and deputy chiefs that are in charge of a whole department. And when you make decisions, it doesn't affect just one person, right? It affects everybody when we're out there. So it's tough for them supervisors to make them decisions, but we have some great supervisors, past and present. And I really appreciate everything that you do. I want to start next by talking about my family. I want to talk about all my family members that are in law enforcement, my brother-in-law Drew, my cousin Billy, my nephew Salvatore, my son-in-law, Mike. Thank you for what you do, and this is what it's about, right? It's about taking care of each other and making sure at the end of your career we keep each other safe and we can all go home to our families. That's most important. For my family, I thank my mom and dad for always keeping me safe, right? Keeping my head on my shoulders.
My sister, growing up when I first started, we didn't have handcuff dummies, so that was my handcuff dummy, right? My defensive tactics dummy. And she's no dummy, she used her as a handcuff dummy. So thank you for all that stuff. My immediate family, all my kids, right? I know everybody who has kids. I know that if the kids had to talk, they would say, it's very hard growing up with a law enforcement officer in the house because we're a little bit different, right? It's not, my kids are like, hey, I'm gonna go down the street and hang out with my friend. For me, it was like, where are you going? I want an address. Give me a last name. And there was times where I had to tell them, yeah, you're not going over there.
Frank's getting nervous.
Yeah, Frank's good. So there were some things that we do in law enforcement. We know that because we worry about everybody, and I still worry about them. But I thank you guys, the kids, all for your support. I love you guys. Thanks for putting up with all my craziness, right, over the years, and I appreciate it. And then the most important person is my wife, Regina. I don't know how she put up with me all these years. I'm not even retired left yet, and I still got a honey-do list at home. It's a mile long, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But I appreciate you putting up with all my craziness, right? All the sleepless nights of the radio's going on, I'm on a SWAT job, we're not going on a SWAT job, you're listening to the radio, where are you going all hours of the night? And I appreciate it, and I love you, babe, for that. Now that we said that, I know you don't like this word, but the B word is budget. You're going to be on a budget now? I already contacted Nordstrom's. They're not allowed to call you no more. And, hey, Nick, I don't know what you're laughing at. She's not allowed in your jewelry store no more either. That's it. We're done. I appreciate everybody coming out. I love each and every one of you. I'll be praying for you all the time. Please be safe. Thank you.
As is the tradition here at Gloucester Township, when anyone retires, we have some presentations, just as a small sign of our recognition. One of the things we do, we're part of this Gloucester Township Police family. We call it a family. They all know it. For those who are outside, we regularly refer to as the Gloucester Township Police family. And you guys are part of that family. And we always try to keep our retired officers informed as they move on to other things and whatnot. And one of the things we always want them to know is our lapel. We wear this as a tie tack. Detectives wear it as their lapel pins. The Gloucester Township Police patch on a logo. And every retired officer, we make sure we get them this so they can proudly wear these wherever they go to events as they go. So I'm going to present those to John. Also, I want to present John's retired badge. This is his retired badge, his retired ID. I'll hold the badge is worth getting a picture. Right. So we have his badge. We also have a ceremonial retired ID card that goes with the badge. We also have his retired officer's ID also, which goes with his badge. So we'll proudly present that to John. I also want to give John a copy of his retirement order, and I will read his retirement order, and then we'll make a presentation. So this is Gloucester Township Police Department Personnel Order number 2022-08, effective February 1st, 2022. Detective John Ricci, badge number 133, will retire from the Gloucester Township Police Department after 25 years of honorable service. Detective Ricci was hired as a police officer on January 27, 1997. Detective Ricci was appointed to the Special Response Team on July 13, 2000 as an SRT operator, and was appointed as a team leader on February 1, 2006, where he served until June 1, 2016. Detective Ricci served in the Patrol Bureau and was assigned to the Narcotics Unit on October 20, 2003. He was appointed as a detective on April 1, 2004. Detective Ricci was assigned to the United States Marshals Service, New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force from September 20, 2010 until November 13, 2017. Detective Ricci was assigned to the Professional Development Bureau on November 13, 2017. I am grateful for Detective Ricci's dedicated service to the Gloucester Township Police Department and the community. I know you will join me in wishing John a long and happy retirement. This order was issued by Chief David Harkins on this date. Congratulations, John. I also am including, we located a copy of Personnel Order number 97-17, which was issued by Chief John Stolzheimer, which reported that upon graduation of the Police Academy, Patrolman Ricci will be assigned to the 4th Platoon on May 19, 1997 for the 3rd watch at 1500 hours. That order was signed by Chief John Stolzheimer. So I have a copy of his first order and his last personnel order to present to him. And at this time, we're going to present to you your retirement plaque. John? Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'd ask all police personnel to head out those doors to the rear, where we'll have Detective Ricci's final radio call. Once everybody gets set up out there, any civilian in the family will guide you out. We'll be able to come back in here for cake and any photographs that are needed, so please feel free to get in position.
Detail, attention, cut! Detail, present arms! Detail, order, arms! Detail, parade rest!
All personnel stand by for a special announcement. Effective today, January 31st, 2022, Detective John Ricci, badge number 133, will retire after serving 25 years as a law enforcement officer. Detective Ricci was hired by the Gloucester Township Police Department in 1997 and served as a patrolman until 2004, when he was promoted to detective. During his career, Detective Ricci was assigned to the Special Investigations Unit, Special Response Team, the U.S. Marshals Service Regional Fugitive Task Force. In 2017, Detective Ricci was assigned to the Gloucester Township Professional Development Bureau, where he spent the remainder of his career. During his career, Detective Ricci received numerous awards and letters of accommodation. We are grateful for Detective Ricci's dedicated service to the Gloucester Township Police Department and the community. We wish Detective Ricci a long and happy retirement.
Bravo 133 radio. Bravo 133 signing off radio for the last time. May God bless the men and women in the Gloucester Township Police Department. Off radio.
Congratulations, sir, for your retirement.